All right, guys, welcome to today's live. I'm going to be going over the audience flywheel. And this is a framework that's going to help you grow your audience, know how to nurture them, and invite them to work with you one-on-one. So the whole point of this framework is to really show you the ways that you can connect with more people online, different channels you can use to nurture them, and lastly, a framework for actually inviting people to work with you. So I'm going to jump in here and start sharing right now. So we have the audience flywheel. So it's pretty simple. Has three parts. So you can think of it like a flywheel because it's always turning. And the first piece to this is connections. So we have connect, then we have nurture, and then we have invite. So when it comes to growing your audience, first thing you have to keep in mind is making connections. And there's two ways to do this, really. There's organic, and then there's also paid. So ads, for example. Now, on the organic side of things, there's a number of ways right now. So if you're just getting started, I'd recommend beginning with organic to grow your audience and building out connections that can lead to clients in the long term. So on the organic side, we have looking at different platforms, things like Facebook or LinkedIn. You can send friend requests / connection requests to people who are in your ideal audience. If you're on a platform like Instagram, right now Reels are getting a lot of reach. So short form video, that's a good way to grow your audience. If you're on YouTube, you can have like long form video, and you can also do keyword based video. YouTube is highly keyword based. You can also do speaking engagements or podcast engagements. So you can get in front of an audience of your ideal clients through speaking, through being on podcasts. And these are great ways to make more connections. So let's see, we've covered friend requests, reels, long form video, which is keyword based. So if you go to some keyword search tool like Uber Suggest or Google even has one natively in their ads manager, you can look and see what keywords people are searching for. So for example, in my niche, I know a lot of people are looking for things like how to craft your coaching package or how to choose a coaching niche. So I could make long form videos that are trainings around these types of topics to start getting people into my world. Now, with the paid side of things, you have to kind of know where is your audience hanging out. So we can do this through market research, through interviewing people, through asking people, what platforms are you spending your time on? Hello, Bridget, welcome. Through what platforms they're spending their time on, and then you can kind of craft a paid ad strategy, a marketing plan around that. So on the paid side of things, this is traffic from places like Facebook or what is called Meta these days, Meta Ads Manager. This is more broad. They have an AI right now that basically knows how to target people based on data from your Facebook pixel and based on the text that you put in your ad. It figures out who to target. You pretty much just leave it open. You don't have to do interest targeting like you used to back in the day. This is super efficient. They call that Advantage Plus targeting. Now, on the paid side, there's also Google Ads. So this is another way to grow your audience and create more connections. And again, this is keyword based. And with both of these, with both organic and with paid, you should absolutely have a lead magnet of some sort that you can drive all this traffic to. And so that could be a guide of some sort or a training to help your ideal clients get a small result. And some of my favorites are either an overview of your process that you coach people through, or the first step that you would walk them through when they become a client of yours. So if it's the first step, in my case, I usually teach people how to niche down. And so I made a niche guide, and that is working very well in terms of growing my audience and getting people to enroll on my email list and become part of my world. So, overview of your process. If you have like a 3-step or 4-step coaching process you take someone through to get a result, that is a great guide. Or if there's a first step that you can help them get a small result, that is also a great thing to have in your lead magnet. Now, the only other things I'll say here with this is this grows your email list. So for both of these, organic and paid, you want to be growing an email list, which transitions us nicely to nurture. So from connections, we go to nurture. And there's a number of channels we can use to nurture our audience. Okay. We have email, we have text message, we also have content marketing. So this is things like reels, lives, or written content like social media posts, things of that nature. Also put like long form video here as a nurture tool. And if you're just getting started, I recommend having some kind of community. Okay, whether that's a Facebook group, I think that's the easiest. There's a lot of really good tools with Facebook groups. I think that's the easiest and lowest barrier to entry. It's free as well. So, great way to get started. Now, through the nurture process, we want to provide a lot of value. Okay, so all of this is designed to basically demonstrate you as a likable guide as a coach. Okay, so we want to be a likable guide to our audience, to our prospective clients. And we do this by creating content that adds value and that showcases our personality as well. So we're building a personal brand through the content that we make. And I call this embodied content, where you're showing up in a way that you're essentially embodying the thing that you're teaching others to become through your coaching. So you essentially want to write stories from your own personal life that encompass certain beliefs that your ideal customer should have in order to work with you. And that's a whole other framework I have. It's called transformational messaging. And those are essentially the 9 beliefs that somebody needs to become a client. Now, we'll just keep this focused on the audience flywheel for now, but you need a way to recap to connect with your ideal clients, whether that's through organic or paid media. Those are probably your best options for now, getting started. And in the nurture phase, we have these different channels where we're distributing the content that we make. And again, if you do your market research, you'll know what channels are the best channels to do that with. And from there, you're coming across as a likable guide and you're instilling transformational beliefs through the content that you create. So these transformational beliefs are designed to help people move forward in their journey to becoming a client and have some realizations and epiphanies that they didn't have before. Now, I'm going to do a whole other training around these transformational beliefs because it's a lot to unpack here, but this is kind of the gist. So the likable piece is your personal brand, your personality, your authentic marketing. And the guide piece really comes from these transformational beliefs that you're helping people with. So when you're able to provide so much value through your content that people see you as embodying the ideal outcome that they want. So like a good example would be like if you're a fitness coach and you're in really good shape and you had this story about how, you lost weight and you changed your diet and now uh, you have this result, right? These types of things help build a lot of trust in your audience and help them see you as a likable guide who's going to help them on their journey. Another example would be like if you were a dating coach and maybe, you struggled to approach women and you struggled to uh, talk with women and struggled to go on dates, then you can tell stories about how you overcame that. And that's going to help you twofold. It's going to help you build your personal brand, and it's going to help you instill transformational beliefs into your audience, which will help them see you as a likable guide, which is what they need to see in order to hire you as their coach. So that is mostly it on the nurture side. And then with invitations. So once people are nurtured, you've made the connections, you've started to nurture your audience. Now you're inviting them to work with you. And this looks like a few different things. It looks like CTAs in your content, which is basically calls to action. So you could create a post and then at the end, give a call to action for them to leave a certain comment or DM you a certain key phrase to, express interest in working with you. This stuff is powerful, it still works. You can also put CTAs in your videos that you make or at the end of your live trainings. And there's basically two types of CTAs, calls to action, invitations, however you want to look at it. There's a soft invite, which is like basically you do a post around your transformational messaging, share your story, and at the end you could say something like, hey, PS, I'm hosting a live next week, would love for you to come, and here's the link to add it to your calendar, right? That's a very soft invite. You're not selling it too hard. You're just showing up in your content and giving a soft invitation at the end. And then I guess the opposite of soft would be hard. So like a hard invite would be very direct, very obvious. You're saying something like, you're basically selling them on the idea of going to your event, right? So you can make a whole post that's like, hey, if you are a coach who wants more clients and you are looking for a way to attract more clients through your marketing, then next week I'm hosting a live event. And when you go, you will learn the 3 marketing levers you need to get more coaching clients, the conscious selling strategy to increase your sales, increase your close rate, and have an abundance of clients to work with every month, right? That's just an example of like a hard invitation where the whole marketing angle is around getting the person to take that action, to register for your event, to apply to work with you, things like that. So let's look at a few practical examples of how you can invite people to take next steps with you, right? So in my ads and in my content, I have invitations to download my lead magnet. So download my free guide. That's an invitation. I put that in my organic content sometimes. I put it in my ads for sure. That's the whole point of running the ads. From there, you can invite people to live trainings that you host or master classes. If you're hosting like a proper full-on event, you can invite people onto a discovery call. You can invite people to apply to work with you. And these are all practical ways of leveraging this system. And you can see that the system keeps feeding itself. So you connect with people, you nurture them, you invite them to take the next steps, you connect with them more, nurture, invite them to take the next steps, and it just keeps going around and around. And so that's why I call it a flywheel. So this is pretty much it in terms of the content of this training. I will say that when you have this in place, if you're making a lot of connections, if you're nurturing your audience, if you're inviting them to work with you, there's no reason that you shouldn't be attracting clients. And let's just kind of go through a scenario where, like, what happens if you're missing one of these three? Because I do see a lot of coaches who are missing one crucial piece of this. So let's say that you're missing the connection piece, right? Like, let's say you are not growing your audience enough or at all. So you have a current audience that you're just nurturing and you're inviting them to take next steps with you. But what's going to happen is you're going to run out of potential clients to work with because your audience isn't growing and new people aren't showing up in your audience to work with you. So this is crucial, guys. You need a way to connect with your ideal clients, and you need a way to keep growing your audience consistently and repeatedly, every single day, every single week, every single month. It's crucial. And let's say you're missing the nurture piece. Okay. So if you're just making connections and you're inviting people to work with you all the time, you're going to burn out your audience because without the nurture, without adding value, without them seeing you as a likable guide, without helping them have these internal transformations through your content, you're going to burn a lot of potential clients and you're going to repel people because you're not providing any value. So nurturing your audience is hugely important to your success. And if you're missing it, then all you're doing is making connections and asking people to work with you. And I see some coaches doing this. I see a lot of cold DM strategies that are like this, oddly enough, where, you accept a connection request from somebody and next thing you know, they're sending you a pitch. That would be totally missing the nurture piece, the relationship building piece. And that is not good. We want you to be set up for long-term success and have a way to get clients consistently month after month. And that comes from having a strong nurture process where people are warming up to you over time and considering working with you. And over the long run, you'll make way more money as a coach and you will impact way more lives because you're able to attract these clients into your world through your marketing. And the last thing is, like, let's say you're missing invitations, which I also see a lot of coaches missing this as well, where they are making connections, they're making content, they're growing their audience, they're getting nurtured, but then they don't offer any next steps, right? So it's so important to roll out the red carpet for somebody to show them, like, hey, here's how we can work together. Here's how you can get a result by working with me. Like, here's my lead magnet. Here's my live training to attend. Here's a masterclass. Here's a link to schedule a 15-minute discovery call. Here's a link to apply, right? So if you're missing these next steps, then it's going to be really hard for you to actually get the clients, right? You can do all the connecting and all the nurturing in the world, But if you're not rolling out the red carpet for people and showing them how they can work with you, then all the marketing in the world is not going to fix that problem. So you need a way to invite people to work with you, and then it just keeps cycling until they become clients. So this is the audience flywheel. Hope you guys got a ton of value out of this training today. I'm going to open up the floor for a little bit of live coaching and Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the Zoom chat if you're here live, or in the Facebook chat or comments if you're watching in the Facebook group. If you're watching on YouTube, same deal. You can drop your questions in the comments and I will answer them as they come in. And for those of you who are curious about, what the next steps are in your coaching business and what you need to do to start attracting more coaching clients. Right now, I'm doing 15-minute discovery calls where I'll see, what your current situation is, where you want to go. I'll share with you the next few steps to help you get there. And if I think you're a good fit, then there might be an opportunity to work with me as well. That's something that we can explore on that call. So if you are watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment VIP below and I will message you with the link to schedule a call, or you can reach out directly to me on Facebook. That works too. And for those of you who are here live on Zoom, I will drop a link in the chat where you can schedule a 15-minute discovery call with me. Again, we will cover, what's going on in your coaching business right now, where you want to go. I'll share with you the next steps you have to take to start attracting more clients. And from there, there's also an opportunity to possibly work with me as well. So I'm going to sit tight here and check for any questions and answer them as they come in. So yeah, feel free to unmute yourself if you're on Zoom or type up the question in the chat.